I don't know if you're like me, but whenever I see there's like a deluxe edition of one of my favorite albums of the recent past, I get a little suspicious. I mean, I'm happy because, it's great music from an artist that I like, but then also, what's the point? Is this just a cash grab, a click grab, some desperate attempt to milk a little bit more money out of a project because it's so hard to get any money out of any projects at all with a quarter of a quarter of a quarter of a cent for every click? I don't know. So whenever I see it, like, there's that little, like, burst of excitement, like, oh, this artist I love is releasing something new. And then there's the kind of disappointment, like, oh, it's a deluxe. And often they will just kind of come and go, and I won't even comment on them on this channel, even if it's something that I love as much as, say, Quaranta by Danny Brown. And definitely this fit the bill of just immediately disappointing me. I look at it, I'm just like, oh, cool, 6 new tracks, 4 instrumentals, 2 new songs. Okay, this is just a cash grab. I'm sure there's nothing to see here. But this is the always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor who's sitting on his back porch as the sun rises, so he gets up before his family wakes up, and that's why he's in his bathrobe. If you see this bathrobe, it's not that I'm cozy, it's that I'm working hard. But I am always positive, so I'm not actually going to sit here and tell you that this new Quaranta Deluxe is a cash grab. Instead, I'm going to tell you it's really important. It actually completes the album. Like, that's what a really good deluxe edition can do. I think we saw that with Charlie XCX and Brat. It's not just a, hey, remember me, it's the Grammys. It's like there's more to say. Kanye taught us in 2016 with Life of Pablo that you can allow albums to grow once they are freed from physical media. They had been freed from physical media, but Kanye figured out how to do it, how to have that conversation, how to add, St. Pablo way after the fact and sort of recontextualize and summarize the entire album in one song. So this 6 new tracks, that's actually 2 new tracks, does a lot. First of all, the instrumentals are just insane. They're so good that it's actually worth just re-listening to the instrumentals because you forget how good Danny Brown is at selecting beats or how good the people who work with him are at giving him beats because they are so good even without his voice. But it's really these 2 songs. And they deepen and perfect the album, and they make it sad. They're really sad. And I want to provide for you 2 possible readings of these songs and their presence as deluxe edition songs. I'm going to give you the hopeful and the realistic. Hopefully, these songs are here because they're so dark, they're so sad, that they don't actually fit, they didn't fit the original album. And they were already recorded. And if you don't remember, Quaranta was an album in which Danny Brown was essentially becoming, when I say becoming a man, I don't mean like he wasn't a man before, but like being a man in terms of like realizing himself, realizing who he needs to be as an adult, stopping running away from his problems, stop covering up his problems with sex and drugs, his sobriety, his dedication to his partner, avoiding too much sex, avoiding too much drugs, and sort of going from a child to a man, but artistically going from a cartoon to a man, because it was always kind of an issue I had with him. He's so clearly talented, but then so many of his lyrics felt to me like he was just doing self-destruction for our entertainment. And that's not really fun for me. I've known too many people who self-destructed. So, it was a harrowing and difficult to listen to album. So the hopeful read on these 2 songs, which are dedicated to sex and drugs, is that they just didn't fit because he's better now, thank you very much, and we don't need to hear this kind of song. This is the old kind of Danny Brown. This is what he has defeated. He is officially clean and sober and dedicated and all of that, and now he could just throw these songs on as a little reminder of who he used to be. That's a hopeful take. It's not a particularly realistic take, because sobriety of all forms is rarely a one-shot deal. It's very, very, very and just so you know, out of personal experience, I've dealt a lot with addicts. I have not been an addict myself, except I used to smoke cigarettes. I actually started smoking cigarettes so that I would understand addiction better. I started by myself, okay? Like, seriously, by myself, because I'm like, what is this addiction thing? And I realized I could sort of understand addict thinking in a less dangerous way than if, I got addicted to alcohol, right? So I'm very interested in the nature of addiction and how it functions because it's hurt me so much throughout so much of my life. And this album was great because, here we are, we're working through it. This person who we see as sort of glamorizing this self-destructive behavior is figuring his stuff out. But these two songs, it's really a relapse. It's really recidivism. Now, I don't know. Maybe he recorded them before. But their presence here makes the album way sadder, way darker, and makes it hit way harder because that is actually the reality for most people in their path to sobriety. There's often recidivism, relapse. At the end, they throw it on here so that it's like, and it's just a reminder that, I don't know. Are drugs the most destructive force in hip-hop? I think they might be. I mean, I know that violence, has taken a lot of rappers, but that's very sort of spectacular. But how many great rappers have we lost because they just lost their battle with addiction and they either lost their life or lost their ability to communicate? Because that's the other thing. It's we all kind of laugh at Lil Wayne being super messed up and sort of unable to function, but like it's really not funny because he can basically turn himself into a walking comatose patient. Anyways, so I think it's a really important topic. It's one that I'm interested in. I might try to, I don't know, talk to other people who talk about hip hop. Maybe have this as a larger discussion. How do we deal with like this amazing loss that rap has suffered to the war on drugs, which is very evident by how unjust it is and how it predominantly targets people of color. But then on top of that, the actual drugs themselves. But let's get into the songs, okay? If you like what you see, smash like bucket, subscribe, AVAA, it's awesome videos always. It's cold out here in the fall, so I don't think I signed that right, so I apologize to you out there. I'm just going to check my baby monitor, make sure my 2-year-old is still asleep. Oh yeah, she's good. I can keep going here. It's going to be a pretty quick video, I think. So, Cheaters. Oh my god, this beat. Okay, I got it. I know. That's just saying that the battery's... That's just telling me that the battery's going. I don't even know why we have this thing. The battery dies like instantly. Okay. Starts off with the song Cheaters. Produced by Black Milk. What is going on with this beat? Who is... I guess Black Milk has been around and doing lots of great stuff. Because this beat is unbelievable. It's got these weird, like, whistling, like, balloon sounds. Like, wah, 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 and this great bass. What an amazing beat. How does Danny Brown find all these beats? Like, seriously. This project, just, like, track for track. Like, every single beat is amazing. And then we get to these ridiculously sad lyrics that are about being a cheater. It's about sex. It's about having sex with, virtual strangers. But he makes it so sad. Mr. He Ain't Got a Clue, never ever play by nobody's rules. F what you trying to do, I'm trying to swoop me up a Heidi Klum. Right to the point here, okay? So Ain't Got a Clue, never played by nobody's rules. Of course, that's not what this is about. Both of these two tracks start off with a fake. This is the fake, that he's a rebel, and that he is so insistent on sleeping with lots of women because he's a rebel and he's cool and he's an individual. And we're going to get to the deep truth, which is that he's just a very sad, broken person, and he's acting out, and he actually is intentionally sabotaging something that would help him and make him feel actually good. That's what the song's actually about. This is about the dark, dark reality of banging tons of people. There's nothing actually cool about banging tons of people. It isn't. I know it seems cool, but it's not. Trying to swoop me up a Heidi Klum? Heidi Klum? I mean, I remember Heidi Klum, but she's older than me. I mean, damn, that's an old reference. I do think there's something very intentionally here about him. Maybe it's like supposed to be an older woman. Her race does appear to be important to the narrative of the song. That it's a white woman. So there's complexity there, sort of ambiguity there. All up in her hiney in the restroom. Goddamn, why you girl can do that. No caps and all caps. Balls on her like mocap. That's what Danny Brown can do. He can write really funny punchlines that are really funny lines, and looks like mocap. Like like when they filmed the Desolation of Smug or whatever it was, the Hobbit movie, and Benedict Cumberbatch was playing a dragon, and he had all the balls all over his head and stuff because they're trying to capture his motion. That's mocap. Andy Serkis. That's like a funny line. Hee hee hee, fun, 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 sex, sex, sex. Her titties got so many stretch marks, look like a road map. White hoe so negative, but she's pro-black. Okay, so like he's describing a random sexual encounter, but it gets deeper. It gets much, much darker. All up in my phone, finding nudes from other hoes. I was trying to be faithful. Guess I lost my soul. Now you can read that in a couple different ways. You could read that like Danny Brown.
All up in my phone, finding nudes from other hoes. I was trying to be faithful. I guess I lost my soul.
Okay. Damn, that was a good impression. Or you could read it, dramatic. You read it dramatically. All up in my phone. I was finding hoes from... That's why I'm not a dramatic actor. One more try. All up in my phone, I was finding nudes from other hoes. I was trying to be faithful. I guess I lost my soul. All right, that's how you should read it.
Not my time.
He lost his soul, okay? And he's all up in his phone. This is addict behavior. It starts off and you think, oh, he might have just sort of been at a show and then hooked up with a woman, or been at a club and someone recognized he was famous, and things happen. I tripped and she tripped and fell and landed on my dick. Right? That whole joke and that whole thing. Hey, it kind of happens, but he's up in his phone. Okay, this connection. I'm not a sex addict. I've talked to people who consider themselves sex addicts, and this is the thing. It's like it pulls you in. It's this little thing that gives you access to your addiction. Much like I don't do sponsorships, but don't bet on sports, everybody. Don't bet on sports. You are only going to lose your money. It's class warfare on you. They're using technology to rewire your brain to make you into an addict, just like Danny Brown. Do not gamble on sports even once, okay? All right. But that's the thing. The phone provides you this kind of access, and we're all just hamsters in their little frickin' game. We're all just little hamsters like, hey, what happens if we completely rewrite all the rules of social interaction just completely over the span of 10 and 15 years? What will human beings do? I don't know, just do it. Move fast to break things. Break humanity? Yeah, if that's a thing that we break, we moved fast, At least we're rich. Damn, preachy, Professor Skye. Got possessed by the flesh, all up in my chest, happy wife, happy life, so I can't rest. And it's funny, because this whole happy wife, happy life thing is like an old cliche. And usually it's used in the sort of the context of like, oh, you got to keep your wife happy. She said she wants to go to the spa, so make sure she goes to the spa, even if you have to cancel your golf trip with your buddies. Oh, I'm the king of queens, a happy wife, happy life, all that kind of stuff. Does the cold make me funnier? I felt like that was really funny. But that's not what this is. Happy wife, happy life. It's actually that, like, he knows that he's hurting his wife. I didn't even know he was married. Maybe he's not married. Maybe it's like a partner, right? But a monogamous relationship with somebody. We'll say wife, just for shorthand. I don't care about people's biographies, except how it pertains to their art, because we'll never know who they are. Not for real, but we know who they are as they present themselves through their art. That's the person I'm describing, by the way. For all I know, Danny Brown is an art project. For all I know, Danny Brown's, has nothing to do with any of this. But the person that Danny Brown is presenting in this music is the person I'm describing. So happy wife, happy life. In this, it's like he understands that his actions have such dire consequences on those around him, which is what addiction is. And he can't make her happy because he can't make himself happy because he's trapped. He's actually trapped in that bathroom. He's trapped by that phone. He is not free. He is not happy. And by the way, this little guitar thing that happens at the end here, this production is unbelievable. And then this chorus, bet 1,000, shoot 1,000, no fixin' a broken house, not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. I guess you can say that cheaters never win. First of all, we got Bruiser Wolf doing his best E40 impression in the background, saying, yeah, cheaters never win, which is just great. I really like Bruiser Wolf. I don't know him that well, his music that well, but I like every time I've ever heard him. But this idea of no fixin' a broken house, and he's like breaking the house. It's like this really sad thing. He's trying to have a house, he's trying to have a home, he's trying to fix himself, but this is the recidivation. This is the behavior that is self-destructive, that is also other-destructive, because that's the problem with addiction. If you're just killing yourself, that'd be one thing, but you're often killing a dream. You're often killing a house. And he says, not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin, which ties in, which makes him the big bad wolf, which is maybe why he has Bruiser Wolf on here, because his name is Bruiser Wolf. I just thought of that. Vuk, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. But we have this kind of we had this like reference to the big bad wolf who huffs and puffs and blows the house down. I don't know if it's on purpose, but this makes me think of The Shining, the movie, Jack Nicholson, Stanley Kubrick, Shelley Duvall, rest in peace. Because that's what he says when he's breaking down the bathroom, and when she won't let him in. Not by the hairs of your chinny chin chin. That whole where he's sort of like going absolutely crazy and hilarious. It's so funny how hilarious he is, how funny this domestic abuse is. And to me, that's an intentional reference, because that's the reality of these kinds of addictions. Even if they're not actually breaking into the bathroom with an axe threatening to kill your wife and child, that's the reality that addiction has on a family of this broken home. And cheaters never win because he just doesn't win. Am I talking about 2 songs? Am I 16 minutes into a description of 2 songs? I was going to talk about that Tyler, the Creator thing, but I'm not sure if I have anything to say. I definitely want to say this. Second verse. How I got a lot of hoes, still feel so lonely. Because that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth of addiction. Addiction is trying to get out of a hole by digging a deeper hole. That's what it is. You're at the bottom of this big hole, and you're like, how do I get out? Oh, hey, I got it. I'm going to keep digging. I'm Goofy, the addict. Hey, Mickey. Pass me the horse, okay? Like, that's what addiction is. And you can't get unlonely by sleeping with a lot of women. That's the whole problem. Got way past of the sorry shit. Listen to what you told me. I was lost in the sauce. Now look what it cost. Had too many second chances. Can't believe I got caught. And it's all my fault. Only blame myself. Had too many second chances. Can't believe I got caught. This is the other thing, is that when you deal with addicts, especially sort of sex addicts in monogamous relationships, I've heard, like, there's the 2 things that are happening. There's doing the bad thing and there's getting caught. And that's the problem with it, is that he's saying he can't believe he got caught. So this is why he's probably not capable. And again, I'm not talking about the actual man whose name is Danny Brown, because I don't know him. I know the person is being described in this song, okay? For all I know, he's perfectly fine, and he's just describing these feelings from hindsight, okay? I'm not trying to, like, dig dirt on Danny Brown, okay? As far as I know, his real name is, like, Smithson Higgins, okay? And he's from, I don't know, Australia. But I can't believe I got caught. That's the issue, is that he can't really grow. Because if you're worried about getting caught more than you're worried about doing the thing that you got caught for, it means you haven't fully internalized the kind of changes that you need to make. But this B word was so bad I couldn't help myself. I assume you might not think, because I'm a straight edge guy, that I love the comedy stylings of Cheech and Chong. I love Cheech and Chong. There's a whole sketch. There's a guy who's in jail. I think it's for statutory. It's kind of a lot of Cheech and Chong stuff does not hold up to, how everyone always incorrectly says they could never make Blazing Saddles these days. And it's true, they couldn't make it because all the anti-woke people would be going crazy. But there's a lot of Cheech and Chong stuff they couldn't make today. But I plead insanity, Your Honor. She was driving me crazy. I just can't help it. That's what I think of. I almost broke my neck. Lost hold of self-control, really need more discipline, said I won't do it, but got caught again. So there's the sex. There's the recidivism of the sex. And then we get Keep It To Me, produced by Black Noise, Black Milk, Black Noise. Amazing, weird, wobbly sound where the drums, like, there's this like offbeat organ in the very beginning, and then it kind of settles to this wobbly organ sounds. Just beautiful production throughout. Black Milk, Black Noise. Hey, why don't you do an entire album with Danny Brown? It's amazing. And this is my whole fear of this project, you know, is because it starts off with like, he starts off talking about like rolling a blunt as big as a finger, and it only goes around once, and I'm just picturing all the potheads being like, yeah man, oh he's back into the weed, finally this could justify my own inability to get myself straight and act in a way that is in accordance with how I want myself to be, woo-hoo, because I'm not mad about people smoking weed, I'm mad about people suffering, and smoking weed is usually a part of huge human suffering, and I don't support human suffering in any forms. That's why I'm preaching to you. Okay? So he starts with the blunt thing, and I'm just picturing, you know, like oh, well, it's just a blunt, you know. I'm trying to be sober. It's just a blunt, you know. You can smoke weed. Even a little porn at the office. You can smoke just like a little weed and be sober. Like weed? A little weed. No, you can't. You can't. I don't care if it comes from the earth. You can't be sober and smoke weed. You just can't. Those things don't go together because you're not sober. And I'm not judging. It's not a question of judging. It's a question of suffering. If you suffer from substance abuse, you can't abuse substances. The whatever the PR firm for weed is amazing. Okay, it's just wishful thinking. That's the PR firm. That's the best PR firm in the world, is wishful thinking of people. But you just can't. And so I thought it was going to be that, but it's not. It's actually a full-on thing. He starts talking about weed, and then he's immediately into the coke and the pills, because that's the sad truth. If you're an addict, you just can't goof around anymore. Like, it's over. It's over. Some people cannot be addicts, and that's good for them. Seriously, bully for them. Other people are just going to be addicts. Been going out my dome. Best bet is to stop trying. Oh, he's really taking us into the mindset of an addict who's just saying, forget it, just forget it. The best bet is to stop trying. I've got people, friends, he uses the N-word, but I'm going to say friends, that ain't never getting out like friend zones. Like, he's talking about people who are totally lost in drugs. He knows people like that. Him? Pill got me dancing like I'm in the end zone. You're going to need 10 lines to call my bluff. Oh my God. So Pill dancing in the end zone, you know, got 10 lines. I assume he means the 10 lines on a... It's actually really clever. You're going to need, you know, the 10 lines on the football field, but also presumably 10 lines of cocaine, 10 lines to call my bluff, to figure out the phone's been turned off a long time ago. Oh, you ever been with an addict? Oh, and their phone's off? Oh, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. You know, you're like, oh, it's over. Great. Awesome. Sweet. Sweet. I can worry and be out of contact. It's terrible. He's really describing some very harrowing things.
And I don't care if he's saying it like this.
Nose red like a rose, cold shoulder for snow. Done lost my prototype, so my love below. I don't know who walked and talked to you, so I don't say... No, I don't know who to talk to, so I don't say shit. Don't know who I can trust, so I lie about how I feel. Can't tell if it's real, so I self-medicate. Again,
Don't know who I can trust, so I lie about who I feel. Can't tell if it's real, so I self-medicate. Eliminate all the mistakes that I gotta face. What I did yesterday don't make me today. Gotta treat me like family, but do you relate?
I don't know. I don't know who I can trust. So I lie about how I feel. I can't tell. Is it real? So I self-medicate. Eliminate all the mistakes that I gotta face. And what I did yesterday, it don't make me today. But you gotta treat me like family. But do you relate? That's the truth. It's dark. It's dark stuff. Can't tell if it's real, so I self-medicate. He doesn't know how he feels. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to feel. He's trapped. He's completely trapped. And that's what makes it so powerful. After this whole album of growth, we have this recidivation. But here's the trick. It's actually growth. Like, the best thing is just to get sober, right? But if you're going to relapse, this mindset that he's having where he realizes that he has to like the depths of his suffering, the suffering that is causing the addiction. Okay, that's the whole thing, why it's so important. He's like, I never played by anybody's rules. No, this isn't about rules. This isn't about rules. The person Danny Brown in this music, not necessarily Danny Brown, the person in real life. This is not about rules. This is about suffering. And you're describing your suffering in great detail. And this might actually be of great service to people who are going through this kind of suffering. And the chorus has these great added up and down sounds in the background. Production on this. Drink away that pain. Pray that things going to change. Effed up just to leave my brain. Trapped in my thoughts, so I smoke till I'm free. Got my mind going crazy, but I keep it to me. Confession time. Part of the reason I don't do drugs is because I get it. I really get it. My brain's always on fire. Oh, that was an awesome bird. Okay, but now we're good. I'm talking about Danny Brown with these nice people. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, drink away the pain. Like, this is the real truth. Is that, like, I could understand it because my brain's always going. I'm always thinking about 1,000 things. I've got 2 videos on in my head at all times. I'm thinking about my job. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about random stuff. I'm thinking about whether or not Marseille is going to be able to beat Montpellier tomorrow. I'm thinking about whether or not I'm going to start watching the basketball season or whether I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking about how am I going to get to see that Joker movie. I'm thinking about the TV shows I've been watching. Like, my brain's going 1,000 miles a minute, you know? And I'm lucky because I've been through a lot of therapy, so I'm like fairly okay. But you know, I understand that if there was a substance I could take and then I could not feel that way anymore, wow, that would be pretty wild. That could be kind of cool, actually, and I could see totally getting addicted to it because the reality is you get trapped and it doesn't actually help you. It's a ruse, you know. It's a ruse. That's the problem, and he's describing that ruse. Drink away the pain. Pray that things going to change. But if you're an alcoholic, you can't drink away the pain. Actually can't drink away the pain anytime. It's a depressant, everybody. Just to leave my brain, I smoke till I'm free. Now I moved over there. You know what? You're cool. Just keep going. You're cool. In the comments, tell me. Tell that bird it's cool, okay? Say, hey, bird, you're cool. And then I'll forget that I asked you to do that, and I'll get all these comments on here. I'm like, are they calling me a bird? Do they think I'm Sweet D? You know, trapped in my thoughts, smoke till I'm free. The reality, of course, is he knows that he's saying a lie, that you can't smoke until you're free. The second verse, I don't need therapy. Oh, you know, because he does. That's the whole point. That's his only way out. It's therapy, maybe AA, some kind of service like that, you know? I just need a hoe and a pair of skis, so he just needs sex and drugs, right? Pair of skis, meaning snow, meaning cocaine. They say don't hold it in, you might explode, but to take my chance with this blunt, I'm about to smoke. And that's the idea. Don't hold in the blunt smoke because you're going to explode, but also don't hold in your feelings. Anxiety's got the best of me, but that's my problem. Rather have a drink than change the whole topic. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to figure it out.
Until I'm drunk as fuck, swerving my mind. Gotta escape some way. Sunday, hungover, drunk as fuck.
But if you do that dramatic reading, they say don't hold it in. You might explode. But I'll take my chance with the blunt I'm about to smoke. Anxiety has got the best of me, but that's my problem. He's just describing it all. Sleep a few days, and I'm amazed I'm awake. About to have a dinner party, but it's just one plate. Traits of an alcoholic. Drink till I can't think. Sinking low on a brim, don't ask me shit. I'm in my own world, and you can't visit. They think I'm far gone, but I ain't tripping. And that's the gift of this work. The gift of this album, the gift of this bonus edition is he's describing the traits of an alcoholic. He is doing what, I don't know, Billy Wilder did with the movie The Lost Weekend. If you've never seen it, it's an amazing depiction of alcoholism, okay? Or even Figgis with, what was that, Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage and, is it Elizabeth Shue? Even that, you know, he's doing a pretty good depiction of what it actually is, and hopefully it's part of their recovery. By the way, I did a little bit of research. If you have people around you who are addicts and they relapse, these are the 5 things you need to do. Number 1, don't blame or shame them. They already feel shame. There's nothing, that doesn't help. 2, work on your feelings. If you feel disappointed and hurt, really address that. 3, keep healthy boundaries. If you said, I'm not going to see you anymore, don't see them anymore. Okay? 4, encourage them to get help. 5, take care of yourself. That's what you have to do. The best thing you can do with addicts when they relapse is firm boundaries, don't shame them, take care of yourself. All right. I don't know if that helps anybody. Hope it does. Anyways, I'm super cold. I'm going to go hang out with that bird. And if you know what kind of bird it is, tell me in the comments. Oh, hey, am I going to make my basketball shot? Why am I trying to rush to get this under 30 minutes? I don't care. All right, if I get this shot, I will sing. I will do the national anthem in my Danny Brown impersonation for you. Okay? Catch you on the flippity flip. I was ready.
Oh, say, can you sing?
But hey, this is the dawn's early light. There's the camera.